There we go. Now we're live. I love when the unmute doesn't work, guys. Thank you so much. All right, welcome everybody for the Predcast episode 19. Kira is finally live. I hope you're all excited. I can't wait to hear the community's comments about what's going on there. But let's introduce ourselves real quick. Hopefully we'll have our fourth person showing up here shortly if they can get their internet fixed. You know, Florida man, fix your shit. But let's introduce ourselves. We'll do the guest first, Flying Gazelles, Crashy, myself, and then we'll jump right into it. Introduce yourself. Tell them what you do, what you got going on. You know, your favorite color.
Yeah.
Favorite number.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm Flying Gazelles. I am a content creator, and my primary interest is honestly in coaching. For the last many years. So I started in Paragon, was my first MOBA, fell in love with it, and then kind of was introduced to a lot of other stuff from there. And that sparked an interest specifically in sport and performance psychology and its applications to esports. So I do a lot of like how to learn, how to implement knowledge, how to improve gameplay in a way that is backed up by the research that we have today. And beyond that, I love to play. Playing in the Hunt series this weekend, which will be a lot of fun. And then have been loving the game and being a creator and connecting with everyone. So that's me.
All right, go.
Very cool. Crashy here. I jungle. I play game fun. Kira cool. That's me.
Game fun. All right. What's up, everybody? It's I, the beautiful Wolverine, your Michigan wonder, and excited to talk about this because as an ADC main, and we get a new ADC, somebody that we've never actually played before. It's not like we got Twin Blast that we've all touched in Paragon, or we've touched in Fault, or we've touched in Paragon Nova Prime. This is actually somebody completely new, so I am stoked, and I can't really actually, I haven't had a chance yet. Well, we did do the Creator Guild stuff. We were able to, as partners, create content with her, but I was only able to do AI games. So I'm excited to actually get some PvP games in. I tried earlier, and I didn't win the battle. The 50-50 actually turned out to be a 33-33-33 because I had 3 people trying to fight for it. But so I'm excited to actually get some games in with her and see what she's like actually in the game. But let's jump into these patch notes, and we'll go over those real quick, and then we'll go from there. All right. I know I should probably bring that big screen, shouldn't I? Screen? I think it's this screen. I think it's this screen. It is this screen. Look at that. All right. Okay. Predecessor version 5 or 0.0.5. All right. Greetings, champions. Patch version 0.0.5 is almost here, and with it comes the arrival of our first ever original hero, Hera, the Deadly Shadow Huntress. As mentioned in the last week's announcements, we're extending Season 1 until the 17th of April to give everyone a little extra time to unlock those epic end-of-season rewards. All right, I'm going to jump right into it. The issue I have here is this is not the reason that it got extended.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
The reason it got extended, it gets talked about later on. I think don't try to butter us up. Just tell us later on, hey, this is the bonus of this being extended is you guys get to keep on going with that, right? Let us know right away, hey, this is the reason we're extending it because it's not ready. We're still working on it. We're grinding on it. But the benefit of us extending it is now you guys get to, grind farther, to make sure you get the skins. And if you are past the skins, you get the chance to get more platinum in game, to me, that sounds, it almost seems a little disingenuous the way they made it work. It's like, that's not how that is. So I don't like the way they put it there. Like, oh, this is why we're doing it. Oh, meanwhile, our last major content update is Season 1. We've delivered a lot of during the first period of early access, but unfortunately, we've not quite finished everything we wanted to finish in that time. Specifically, we're still hard at work on the public API, competitive nights, and spectator / replay mode. There's a chance that some of these features might be ready to release alongside our next balance patch in 2 weeks. From now, But if that isn't possible, then we expect that they will arrive around a month from now with the version 0.6 update regarding the tutorial. Specifically, we're working hard on this, but it needs more time than most other features. So this will now be releasing during season 2. All right. I like how they already told you, hey, this is already a season 2 thing. Don't even expect this to be here. Yeah. So I appreciate that, and I do like how the fact that they're trying to get it, possibly one of those 3, if not all 3 of those, in the next balance patch.
It's funny. I just now realized. So Bader asked, "Are the coins going to be used to buy skins?" But they originally, the platinum was called coins, and then they made that change. But it is kind of funny to see them kind of like use the same image because the image isn't technically upgraded. So it's like that it's a little confusing in this blog post because there's no context to what 300 coins means if you're paying attention to the game now and didn't know that already. So that's what that really is 300 platinum, which yes will be used towards, you can use towards purchasing skins. So that's a little confusing, but and maybe they should have considered like updating that graphic or just like making a quick one or something. But that's like to kind of amend that, I suppose.
Agreed. No, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. I just automatically, because we've been following this, I've just been automatically just like thinking, all right, that's just platinum, So, but
because there's kind of 2 things here that are confusing too. Because originally we didn't have a season end date, like, and that's part of why too. Like, unless I missed it, but they never said that season 2 was going to end with season 1. Season 1 was going to end with the release of Huntress. So for me, I was always just assuming that, hey, it's going to be on that next character release. There's a lot of things there, but yeah, I really wish to update this graphic. They've had a lot of time to update this because they made that change 2 months ago.
Right.
Yeah, I think they just had it, and then they kind of just threw it on here, maybe with like the understanding that most people that are paying attention to the game would probably know.
Right.
But it does leave like the margin for error that someone would not know. It's really not that big a deal, but it's like, that's meant to be platinum. So
right. And I mean, if they're not going to
things like that, you just
right. If they're not going to update that, just below the picture in parentheses saying, hey, coins are now platinum. Our these are updated to a platinum for those who don't new.
This is our in-game currency. This is what it's called now. Yeah, to clear up exactly that kind of confusion for sure.
Choice Play says, I'm happy they're focused on Spectator. Yes, and I know Medkit's happy about that as well. Back to this week's patch. Kira isn't all that's coming in version 0.5. We're also adding XP rewards to AI mode, new skins to the shop, and we're releasing a player survey too. Kira, of course, is the star of the show this week, Starry Shinbi, and we can't wait to see you all hitting the battlefield with her. From everyone at Meta Studios, thank you for being here with us for the important milestone. Alex, the lead game designer. All right, Kira joins the hunt. This is a pretty cool image. I like this. Her eyes, especially. I know Windu loves this image right now. So
yeah, it's a really cool one, actually. You call me crazy. I actually I might bring this up with them, and this is a super random side point. I might press them for Creator Guild to do like a bunch more renders for us, because like anything official that they give us would obviously look way better than the shit that we're able to find. You know what I mean? Because I use a lot of like old art, which is like it's okay. But like I don't know, there's so much to be said about like a dev studio putting together like a really comprehensive like asset folder, or like a press kit. And it doesn't even have to just be for creators. They could literally make it as a press kit for anyone to use and put it on there.
Okay, sorry guys, I don't know why that shouldn't happen when I transition, but hey, I'll keep an eye on that.
I was gonna say TLD.
Maybe I'm gonna stop transitioning.
If the devs TLDR, if the devs could do like more character renders and stuff for like creators and different people to use on like a press kit or something like that, would be really nice. We were kind of talking about the image that was on the patch notes for Huntress. It looks really, really good. So we would love to see more of that for more heroes, essentially. So, people like us can make cool thumbnails or cool artwork or, use for tournament streams and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's to catch y'all up on what we were talking about in silence.
Yeah, they even started to do that, right? And with all of the hero icons, and they had a bunch of the screenshots and stuff like that, but then they haven't kept up with any of it. So hopefully that means that they're developing something more robust for down the road, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Major improvements. AI mode XP. They recently added AI mode will now grant account XP on match completion. Keep in mind that these games will provide less XP than the regular PvP games. But if you're looking for a chill way to grind for those end of season skins, then this might help. I think this is actually huge.
I think that's huge because it really gives people a reason to want to engage in AI, especially if they're new, and that just gives them a reason to play, right? Now, I gotta say, now I know Inarth does like the speed runs and stuff. I wonder if he's mapped out the speed run that he could repeat the best, and then mapped out if that might be more EXP than just grinding the game. Because dude, you could farm platinum that way. It's potential,
right?
But just saying, you never know. Maybe I should invite 4 buddids and we speedrun the hell out of it and just grind free money, right?
There you go.
Platinum's money. That's money. So you never know.
Right. I just think it's good. One, it helps with the new players, but also not even just the new players, but the lower end players that just like, because we know that a MOBA can be a toxic game, right? So this kind of gives them like they don't feel like if they go play in AI mode that they're getting nothing out of it completely, right? At least they're getting something if they go play AI mode and just kind of avoid the toxicity for a little bit, whatever, before they want to get back into another PvP match. So I think that's great. And I also love the fact that it's less XP. Like you're not getting the same amount of XP, for going full game. So you get a little bit of both sides.
Well, it's definitely important too, because you can really delay the game quite a bit. And since XP is based on match duration, having it give less XP is definitely really important, because you could really game that system potentially by having like a 6-hour game or whatever, and you'd get 12,000 XP or something ridiculous. So like,
I don't know. I've tried to delay it. I've tried to delay an AI game just so I can go full build and see what a full build looks like, in an AI match, and your team just finishes. Like they push
even if you just feed, like you can just run it down.
Yeah. Nice. Well, if you're feeding, if you're running it down, you're not getting the gold you need. So like you're trying to kill.
Oh, that's true.
And it's like I'm trying to get full build here. It's like,
so get some kill. Here's what you do: you get some kills, you build a bounty, then you feed, then you go jungle.
That's like, I mean, there's got to be some, but yeah, it is hard. It is hard to do for sure. All right. Skins shop update. All right. First and foremost, the Platinum Store is now enabled on the Epic Games platform. Perhaps more excitingly, however, is the fact that in this update, we're adding 3 new skins to the store. Those skins are Cardinal Skin Kira, common skin, Wasteland Howitzer, also a common skin, and Arctic Frost Dekker, also a common skin. All right. Now these, I recognize this skin for Dekker. I also recognize this skin for Howitzer. They're definitely epic assets. The Wasteland. So, but the Cardinal Skin Kira, though, that's a nice skin. I like how the color in her eyes and her face paint, changes. Really good.
I'm gonna do a self-plugging moment here, because
there you go.
We got Creator Guild event to do the early playtest for Kira, and that build had additional skins, and it had 2 additional skins. And I asked them, I said, "Hey, look, are these going to be in the build?" And they said, like, in the next shop update, and they were like, "Probably not. Like, it's probably not going to be in the game." And we said, "Okay." And I was like, "Can I record them?" And they were like, "Yeah, that's fine." So I put a video out. If you go find it, it's one of my recent videos talking about like the new skins that are coming to the game. And there is I already forget the names of the skin, but there's a fire, like red autumn sparrow skin. She's like all red, and I think that's an asset from Epic as well.
Yep,
and
it is.
Then there's the full rock rampage skin, where he's like fully like elemental rock rampage.
Rock golem.
Yeah, and that skin. I already know what it looks like in Pred because I've seen it.
Right.
But I need them to bring it to the game now. So bring me that skin so I can purchase it.
Immune, you got a Kallari skin. You got the peppermint Christmas skin for Kallari. All right, that's all we need. Actually, we should probably just let's just get rid of Kallari skins and get rid of Kallari. We'll be all good. Everything will be great. We can keep moving forward. All right. Additionally, you can now see the rarity of the skin above the name of the storage in the store. Sorry. Currently, we have 2 rarities that can include any of the following changes. Common, you can have skin colors, materials, textures, minor model changes, or other minor visual changes. Rare, you can have skin colors, materials, textures, sound effects, substantial module changes, or substantial visual changes. A skin can have any number of the changes listed in its rarity here in any combination. the more changes there are, the more complex they are, the more platinum they are likely to cost within their rarity tier. All right. So in the future, sorry, I'm having a hard time. In the future, this information will be clearly available in game. I don't know why I was having a hardest time with that small little paragraph. Moving forward, we plan to add new skin with each game update every 2 weeks, meaning the next skins will be coming in April 4th balance patch version 0.5 point whatever, because there could be a hot fix in between then. All right, so this kind of helps explain why there's the random you have the 600, the pricing. There you go. Thank you. The 600, the 800, the 1300, the 1600. Am I missing one? I think that's it right now. The four prices we have so far.
Yeah.
You know, this kind of explains why you see that. Like that 800 price threw me off when I first saw it. I'm like, why is there 800? Like, I get 600, I get 1300, I get 1600, right? You just kind of go up it, but like, why is this random 800 in there? So it kind of threw me off, but at least now this kind of explains that. So I like that at least.
I think the only thing that is kind of strange to me about this is the move away from the industry standard to have, like, to break out those rarities and make every rarity have a set price. That's kind of strange to me, to have a range for it. It's not like it's bad. It's just, given how closely they're following, especially League's model and everything like that, it throws me off a little bit of like, hey, a common skin can range from, 600 to 1,000 or whatever it will end up being, 600 to 800 right now. And then a rare skin can be, up to that 1,300 mark. And I don't know if that's something they'll end up breaking out further eventually, but it feels a little strange to me.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. Player survey. All players who have reached level 10 and above will be prompted to log in to fill in a one-time only feedback survey via Google Forms. This pop-up can be dismissed, and if you would like to fill out the survey at a later time, there will be a button on the main menu linking you to the survey. Your feedback is important to us, and we'll use the results from the survey to help us shape our plans for Season 2 and beyond. In advance, we thank you for taking the time to fill out the survey.
They had a question on there, and it was like, what was one thing you want removed from Predecessor? And I really didn't have an answer.
I also just literally put NA because I'm like, removed? What are you talking about?
You can't remove North America. Come on, man. Don't put NA there.
It was funny though, because I was like, I want to like actually give feedback. So I sat on it and I was like, what is something I would want removed? And I was like, there's really nothing I want removed from the game. I want changes, on this, that, the other. And I gave some feedback, on that, but removed, nah.
Yeah, I haven't filled it out yet. I wanted to take time to really just sit down and give a good thought out like feedback, fill everything out, so I haven't had time to do that yet. So I will be doing that though later. And I think I encourage everyone to, take the time to feedback, because all feedback is good feedback for them, right? It doesn't have to be all positive, doesn't have to be all negative, right? Just constructive feedback that's going to help them, give them your information. I know Gij has actually some thoughts on Predecessor. He was talking about in his last stream. Gij, welcome to the stream. He was talking about his last stream, and I overheard him talk about how he's like, it's kind of meh for him. Explain to them, fill out the survey, explain to them why it's kind of meh for you, and then that might help them get the game to a better spot for you. So that goes for everybody that kind of has that feeling, or if you have the game's amazing for you, give them feedback, but there's obviously something that can be better for you. And then if their game's like, you don't like the game at all, give them the feedback. Help, they need that. All right. Kill counter. This is Crashy's favorite thing of the whole patch. He doesn't care about Kira. He just wants this kill counter back, and he got it back. Earlier in the season,
that might be true.
I think that might be true. Earlier in the season, we removed the kill counter that appeared on the HUD. We chose not to communicate this at the time. We had hoped by removing the counter, there have been a positive impact on some tracking data that we were monitoring, and therefore it was important that players discovered the change organically. Having reviewed the data, however, we found that the change did not have the impact we had hoped for, so we're re-enabling the feature. We appreciate all the feedback and community the community provided on the topic. It was very helpful. Sundown with the rate of 30, Party 31. Thank you so much, buddy. You were a beast. Hope the stream was great. Hope that last match was great.
I'll get my thoughts on this out. I don't like, so you got to do it the right way. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to see if it would reduce like forfeits and people trying to give up and stuff. But I will say, I felt treated like a child. Like I felt like you don't trust me with the information. I don't like it. I don't like stealth changes. And it's not the biggest thing in the world. And they brought it back, but I think the admission of like, oh, we did it without saying anything is like, I really don't like that one. Not a big fan of that one.
I do understand why they did it without saying anything though, because I think if they did it with saying, then you're just going to get that just instant uproar. Right, and then people are just gonna know, and then they're just gonna they're all right. Hey, we know this changed, so we have to hit tab to see the score now. So they're just gonna always hit tab. All right, forfeit. All right, tab, forfeit. Right. This way, it was just kind of like it was there, and I'm surprised they actually got. They said it didn't have the output they wanted, the outcome they wanted. I personally noticed less forfeits in my games. I think the forfeits did kind of get. They did grow back after a while, and I think that's probably why they're bringing it back. Is like because it worked for that little bit that first happened, like because people aren't seeing like, hey, we're down 10-1, no, come back here, forfeit, right? So now they're just forfeiting. They're all right, we're gonna get used to it now. We're gonna forfeit as is. So maybe the numbers did get boosted back up, and might as well bring it back.
Funny because like in that same like train of logic, like should we remove the fang counters from the main HUD? You know what I mean? Like how much information are we willing to sacrifice for a hopefully better perception of the outcome or of like the current state of the game? So like to me, it's like it's always like if it's an anti-tilt kind of decision that a player could implement themselves, then like cool, you could make it toggleable. But I just was like being forced that, and then like the first day, most of us thought it was a bug. Like we all were like, "Oh, this is clearly a bug, right?" Like because then the UI looks so naked. It looks so naked up there,
right? It does.
So, yeah, I just wasn't a huge fan. But hey, look, it's back. The feedback is there.
We were talking about this in one of my streams after the patch notes came out, and we read the patch notes, and somebody was like, "Wait, there was a kill counter?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was." If you look at the clock, like to the left of it was the left team's kills, and then to the right was the right team's kills. Oh,
it's
I didn't know there was
when we were doing the Kira playtest, I had already gotten used to just pressing tab. So like, in some of my matches, I was pressing tab and I was like looking at the kill counter, and I forgot that it was on the top of the screen. I'd gotten used to it for like a couple weeks or whatever. So
at first I hadn't even noticed that they changed it until someone spoke up and they're like, "Hey, the kill counter's back," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's nice."
Yeah.
I think I was watching Crashy's video when he did the recording over the dev stream, and then somebody in your comments pointed out that there was the kill counter was back, and you agree like, oh yeah, it is back. That's how I found out it was back. I played my 2 whole AI matches not knowing it was even there when I played Kira. I didn't even pay attention to it. So I think there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be like still doing what you did, hitting tab until they realize, oh wait, it's right there. Okay.
The biggest thing though that's nice about this is it's great for both viewers and for casting, because I know that a couple weekends ago we were the production for what is now the Paragon Championship, or sorry, Predecessor Championship circuit. Like they were having to manually add it to the screen so that you can do that, and they're just like, "Why is Obeda making this work so much harder?" So
to be fair, like a spectator mode would have potentially more information anyway. So like everything that we're doing pre-spectator mode is a little jank anyways. But like even still, it's like, damn it just makes it that much like harder. Like just that one extra little bit harder. So
right. And shout out to Black Fox. Black Fox made the comment as well. Kill counter hype, great for viewers. And I agree, it is great for viewers. Just giving that little more information that a viewer can see on the stream while their streamer's going. Now we're gonna get to a part that I'm super annoyed with, and I don't know how you guys feel, being content creators as well, but we'll get to it. Other improvements. Words can no longer be placed on non-walkable areas. I don't know where areas those were. But that's I agree with that. That makes sense. How can you deward if it's on a non-walkable area? That makes
you couldn't. There was a ward spot in River where you could put it up on the wall.
Yeah, that's like whoa. That makes no sense. All right.
Yeah,
4 alarm duration decreased from 5 seconds to 4 seconds. That's a good quality life. I hated how it was going off and there was no minion. Like, why is it still going off? Like, so there's no minions there. But adjust camera shake in general based on community feedback. Awesome. Khaimera's Unleash sound effects have been altered. All right, haven't heard that yet. Adjusted Rampage boulder volume. Support crests now show their stacks on the HUD. That's great for the supports. Updated the audio for Fangtooth's attacks. Updated Primal Fangtooth's cone attack audio. And removed free lock keybind from controller. Adjusted phase movement sound effects. This one got removed, and this is the one I have the biggest issue with. Mouse is now always locked to the game window regardless of the window mode. It says this change had been removed from this patch. It will return in the future. And it says fix multiple heroes' abilities that were not previously drawing tower aggression. That's great. That's a huge thing because I hate tower diving. Like, I hate when being power tower if nothing's working out. But my biggest thing, mouse is now always locked in the game window regardless of the window mode. Paragon the Overprime has this, and I cannot fucking stand it. As a streamer, I have 4 monitors. I want more monitors, right? But I have 4 monitors. I use all of them. If I'm not currently in the game, I need the ability to go to all of my monitors, whatever I need to do. If you force me to be locked in your game just because I have your game pulled up, it's going to piss me the fuck off. If this is an option you want to have, then have it be toggleable. Like, as a streamer, I give me a streamer mode that this doesn't happen for me because I do not want this in game.
You mean I'm confused? You mean like you can't just like tab, like alt tab?
I don't want to alt tab. I literally right now I'm streaming right now and I'm not alt tabbing. I'm able to go over every monitor I want.
Okay, so how do you normally play? Full screen or
borderless full windowed border? So I don't know which it is. I have to pull it up, but it's the one that it gives you the full screen, but it's also windowed. It's like windowed full screen or something like that.
It's windowed borderless.
Windowed borderless. There you go. Thank you.
Ideally, they would be able to make it where if you're in a match, it locks the mouse.
It is
because you don't want to like accidentally click out. But if you're not in a match, then you can move your mouse out.
That's how it is right now.
Yeah, that's how it is right now.
So that's how it is right now. So right now they're gonna make it to where your mouse is gonna be locked no matter what screen mode you're in.
Even if you're on the menus, that it still locks it in.
Well, so that's
between games.
That's what I'm saying. Like between games, if you're like sitting on the home screen, like maybe they could make it to where it's open and you can move your mouse. But
that's how it is right now. So don't change it. Don't make any changes. There's no reason to make changes to the mouse.
But the patch already went through, so you should be fine.
No, the change. This change
coming back
had to be removed from this patch. It will return in the future. Like when this game first came out in early access, I loved how I could pick Windows borderless or full screen borderless, and I could do what I need to do. If I go to Paragon the Overprime right now, I load up the game and I put it on window borderless, full screen borderless. I cannot go off the game. I have to hit the Windows key or I have to alt tab to be able to go off screen. I can't stand that.
Oh, see, this is I feel like this is a really niche like perspective to have because I play full screen because it gives better performance. So like I've never not had to like alt tab to get out of the game or something. So I'd like never really thought about it. So yeah, that's an interesting. Maybe if they could keep it that way, that would be dope. I don't know.
Windu, welcome, buddy.
What up, homies?
Can
you hear me? Testing.
We can hear. Yes. Audio's good.
What's up, guys?
I'm just ranting because I'm pissed about this update. This change is unnecessary. It's not needed at all. I would love for a dev to tell me the reason that this change is even going to be put in. Like, it makes no sense to me. And if you weren't able to see or whatever, I don't know if you were still in chat or not. If we're talking about the mouse is now always locked to the game window regardless of the window mode. Right. And it said then also they scratched it out and said this change had to be removed from this patch. It'll return in the future. I can't stand this. PTO has the same thing and I can't stand it. Like, I hate it.
We have the options currently. And like we said, right now, inside of a match, it is locked. So you don't have that issue. And then outside of it, that's literally why those options exist, right? To play on the window, the borderless, the full screen, so that you can choose what you want to do. So why would you have those options if you're going to take the choice away? That's the part that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
So I can agree with where you're coming from.
So, and I also have, I as a streamer, I also been doing Nitro stream racing, right? So I'm in between matches, I'm doing other things. I'm off screen, I'm doing other things. Like, if you lock it in, like, I'm gonna have to every time hit Windows mode or hit the Windows key or hit Alt Tab, and I don't want to Alt Tab. I don't want to Alt Tab, and there you go. Here we go. Like, I don't have to do it now. Don't make me do it. Why? There's no reason. Like, literally give me the reason. Hey, this is our development reason, and this makes this game better for this reason. I want to know, like, because
it's probably just a bug. To be real with you, like, I know, like, I got a 2 PC setup, and I still fucking Alt Tab all the damn time. You know, like, to me, it's like whatever. But the only way I could see them justifying removing something so random, it's probably because they've been working on the UI too. What if they were working on something and they're like, well, you know what? We found out this whole mouse issue, it's going to cause problems. And we rather fix it now that we're working on the UI, as opposed to implement the new UI and then be like, oh, well, fuck, we didn't think about that. Now that's an issue, you know?
And if that's it, again, this is the explanation I want, because I want that was one of the biggest things when these games first went live or the early access. I just praised Pred because I had the ability to do that. If I go into PTO, I get so annoyed because I go in and I'm like, fuck, my mouse is locked. You fucking Windows key and go to what I'm doing, right? Fix whatever I need to fix, do whatever I'm doing. I don't know, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, right? I can't stand it. It literally is aggravating. I read this and I got pissed. I literally was at work and I was pissed. I was complaining to my coworker. I'm like, look at this. What is this? Like, this is fucking dumb. And he even didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to him. Like, I just can't stand it. So that was my thing. I made a Twitter post about it. I'm like, I'm just, and then I saw them. I played today and I'm like, wait a minute, it's not locked. Why is it not locked? So I like, let me pull up. Let me see. Maybe they canceled it, you know? And then I saw they one-lined it and they scratched it out. And it says it's going to come in the future.
I feel like maybe there's room for us to be misunderstanding this, and like maybe not. But I would hope that they would be smart enough to know that, like, that change has to, like, that mode, windowed borderless mode specifically, is meant to be a more fluid mode, right? Where when you're in a match, the game locks it. And when you're out of match, it doesn't. So maybe they just didn't feel the need to put that in there because they were just like doing the strike through to say, hey, this is going away and then it'll come back later. And so, like, you know, when this goes through, if it does work like that, where it's like you're always locked, even though you're in windowed borderless mode all the time, then yeah, I think there's like why does this windowed borderless mode exist at all?
Right.
Because that is the appeal of windowless borderless mode, is that you can just yoink your mouse off really quickly without having to like alt tab the game down. Yeah, that so and I got this one took me a while to like catch up to, because I see now that it was a change that was coming, that they strike through to say that this will be later. But hopefully it's like just during gameplay, if that makes sense. Hopefully.
Well,
but it's already like that. That's what I'm saying. It's
maybe like
putting it in there, it's already like that.
Then I don't understand.
Maybe there is some sort of bug that is related to
then that's bug fixes,
windowed mode or something along those lines that is causing the mouse to be unlocked during the game itself. Maybe that's the intention behind it. Maybe.
But that's under bug fix. This is under other improvements. This is other improvements, not bug fixes.
Yeah, this is just going to end up being one of those things that like we'll need some clarification on, because I don't understand it.
Yes,
it's like it's a little niche, but I also just reading it, like, it just makes my head hurt, because I'm like, well, I thought if that's how it already works, then what are we changing?
Right.
So, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
So that's why I'm upset, because to me it's already a good system. I don't want it to change. So I'm really gonna bitch to high hell when it does change. So, and then Salty Fish said to put it in the survey, and I definitely will. I definitely will tell them if that's what I want removed. That's what I want removed. To remove that option to even be a thing. Don't ever let it be a thing. All right. Moving on. Dekker. Heroes. Dekker is still a fairly solid pick within the current meta. However, she tends to be outshined by her enchanter friends in the support roles. We'd like to give her more direct buffs by making her stasis bomb a bit easier to land directly, her cage a bit more reliable, and shifting the cage numbers a bit to incentivize earlier levels in the photon disruptor after stasis bomb. Rocket boots, her passive cooldown is no longer all right. Almost everybody on here says the cooldown is no longer affected by ability haste.
Yeah,
or their passives, right, or whatever it might be. But a lot of the stuff that says that, right? So I'm not going to read that all the time. Cooldown decreased from 20 seconds to 18 to 9.5 seconds based on level. Containment fence, her E collision activation time decreased from 0.65 seconds to 0.5 seconds. Duration changed from 3.25 at max to 3.2 at max. Stasis bomb, her R&B projectile speed increased from 3050 to 3500. That's a huge increase. I haven't played against the Dekker yet, but that's a huge increase. Have anybody played against the Dekker yet?
Yeah, she's
I've
really
been
good.
playing both with and against her a lot today, and it does feel good. The containment fence part of it feels more impactful to me as a player, just because that collision time is the difference between like just barely walking out of it and getting trapped in. But I also didn't have a whole lot of problems hitting her right mouse button most of the time, other than some of the really weird bounces that you can get.
Oh yeah, bro. I've seen a Dekker ball bounce off of the face of the sparrow onto the floor, stunned her because she was in the AoE. I was like, all right, I guess that fucking works. I don't know what the fuck I just witnessed.
Give her a black eye and stun her.
This is obviously just an anecdote, but it of the games that I've played versus Dekker now, the stuns, like the stun percentage, like the hit has to be going up. Like I'm getting hit by way more of them, so it's just faster and it's like it's harder to react to, which makes like the viability of her a lot better. I think the support role is like they're eating good right now. Like there's so much,
for sure,
so many options. And then they're all viable. Like every support is like viable right now. You have mage supports that are viable, tank supports that are viable, and then supports that are viable. And that's fire.
All right.
And yeah, just real quick on this passive idea. I know that what I am hoping for, I don't know if this will happen, but we are slowly seeing them move more and more from taking passives to act as abilities in terms of interactions with, well, because currently they still kind of interact with items sometimes, to the being their own subclass. And I'm hoping that opens up more design space for them when they don't have to worry about item interactions, because right now, honestly, some of the passives a little boring, they're a little repetitive, and granted, I expect that and they all fit within what they're doing as far as Predecessor as a whole. But I hope that removing that and removing some of the complexity there will open up some more design space for them to be a little more creative.
Drongo. Lately, Drongo has been a bump in early power due to damage being shifted away from the crit and into his levels. This has allowed him to more safely enter solo lanes in some of the niche scenarios. We're decreasing his early game durability and damage as a small amount to lessen his early presence and allow solo laners more opportunities to deal with him. So base health decreased from 615 to 600. Base physical power decreased from 55 to 53. All right.
If at level 1, 15 HP and 2 damage is the difference why you survived, we got to have a different conversation.
Right?
Yeah, this change is like basically doesn't exist. I don't know. It's like it doesn't, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's like they made a small change. Cool. It doesn't really matter. That's cool. Cool.
Gadget, again, her passive not ability has cooldown decreased from 27 to 10 seconds to 26.4 in 6 seconds based on level. So basically, all these ones with the passives, they're now going to get a shorter cooldown at max level. So again, happened with Gideon, Howitzer. All right, Kallari. Omen was an item that never interacted well with Kallari's kit. These changes will allow her to very quickly access both her stealth and death mark when applying them with the same basic attack. All right, quality of life. Omen's passive cooldown reduction will now apply to Shadow Walk and Death Mark when applied with the same basic attack. Shadow Dance or passive. All right, cooldown now 3 seconds at max. All right, so this Omen thing. What? I don't play Kallari, so she's able to.
It's such a negligible change. Like it just changes the interaction with both of the abilities as opposed to like the abilities individually. If you use the Q and the death mark at the same time for a single auto, but that's such like a niche case like usage, which is like fine, right? Like that's gonna happen. But it's like Omen's not like a rush item on her anyways. It's a pretty decent item. So
okay.
But yeah, so basically it reduces your current basic ability cooldown, but since technically on Kallari you can use 2 abilities at once, Omen is going to kind of like have higher value because you can QE auto someone and then the Omen will reduce that cooldown for both of them. So it's cool. I mean, it's a cool change. I don't think it doesn't really matter that much, but it's cool. It's pretty small.
It's nice. It's good for Kallari mains who are min-maxing like the play throughout the game, but otherwise, yeah, it's really doesn't.
Well, there's just so many there's so many like what's the word I'm looking for? There's so many periods of the game
items.
Well, that too. I mean, there are a ton of cracked items, but there's so many like times in the game where like walking up to slap your death mark on someone is not the play anyways, right? Like you just want to hit them with the dagger, and like as you go later in the game, Kallari becomes more poke focused. So again, it's like sure, like that. I think that change is like the tiniest of quality of life changes that you could ever find, but it's not like a buff or anything really. Like technically it is, but not really. It's like a 1% change for Kallari if they build that item.
All right. So I don't know if you guys hang out in Pred Gen Chat at all, or if they come to your stream at all, but I have a guy that his name is Ashbringer Khaimera in Pred Gen Chat, is also in Twitch. So this is like made towards him, right? So Khaimera has been abusing Ashbringer above most other on-hit effects recently. We'll look to resolve those with on-hit modifiers in the future, but until then, we're making his Q ability behave like other heroes' abilities by not allowing the cooldown to start until it has expired. This means he can still stack up Ashbringer, but will not have his Q available instantly. All right, so Unleash Q cooldown now begins after all 5 hits have occurred or after the duration has expired. Cooldown decreased to 4 at max, right? So he came into my chat last night. We were talking about this. He said this is actually a buff to Khaimera. With Ashbringer on Khaimera, you can get that cooldown to be 2 seconds. With Ashbringer still stacking, and then you get that Q. It's instead of being 4 seconds, you're getting it down to 2 seconds.
No, with Ashbringer last patch, it was 0 seconds. So I don't know what he's talking about, but it's a nerf. It's a nerf to Ashbringer Khaimera. You basically don't build this item on him anymore. They just killed it, which is fine because it was kind of absurd anyways. But it was like a tech item. Like the item was really, really good when it had Desolate passive. They took that away from it. So then the item was like kind of good on Khaimera because you were just Q spamming with it. But now, before, if you had Ashbringer Kai, you would press Q, and as your Q was ending, it was up again. So you could just Q infinitely. Now it only at max you can lower it down to about 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds. So it's like it doesn't. You just don't build this on Kai anymore. Now is essentially what it is because it doesn't really help. And there's so many good Kai builds anyways that I saw some opinions like, oh my god, this is gonna kill Khaimera. It's like, no, he's great, he's still good. You just don't really build Ashbringer on him anymore.
Hashtag name change. Oops.
Yeah. Now you gotta change. What do you change to? What
so many cracked items that this doesn't. Yeah. Like, sure, you don't build this, but there's so many good things to build that who cares?
There's like an Overlord start build on Kai that's really good, where you start Overlord and you just stay consistently bulky with HP, and you're just doing damage through building HP. That's a good build. And then there was like the Shredding Kai build, where you were going like Sky Splitter Ashbringer. So the Sky Splitter Ashbringer build is like probably mostly dead. Well, it is like Ashbringer's dead, but it's pretty good. Like he's in a good spot. I saw a few posts where they were worried that he was going to kill Kai, but he's really, really solid. People are playing him a lot.
Kai has always been that noob friendly jungler anyways. There's still things that you could do for skill expression, but he's that one that you could just pick this character and go play. So I don't think he's ever going to be killed by any means. Now I can only speak from my lower end elo here. So if you're saying that he's still viable up there in the higher elos, then that's even better. So good to know. All right. Shots fired passive. Cooldown is no longer affected by ability haste. Cooldown decreased 14.5 to 6 seconds to 12.5 to 4 seconds. All right. So yeah, this is a buff to Murdock in my opinion, because you're now going to be able to shoot at a longer range at a quicker time. So I'm okay with that as a Murdock fan. ADC items don't have haste. Is that a flat buff because it is? Aren't there some that have haste? I mean, but pretty much, Psycho. I agree with that.
There's a lot of pen items that have haste that carries on.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Buy them, but they're like mostly assassin items, right? I don't think any of the carry items have haste on them. I don't think they do. Like, no, I don't think if
you'd have to go like Nightfall or some shit like that in order to build haste.
Yeah, so right. It's kind of like a flat buff.
Yeah, and actually, Jeej brings this up, and I can't stand it. I went up against a Murdock off lane last night as a Grux, and the guy literally, no matter what I did, I could not close the gap. He was able to stay. I used my E to lunge for him, and then I would pull, and he was still shooting at me, and he was able to stay past that gap the whole time. I'm like, I can't. The only way I could actually do it was to use my dash, but then his jungler would come over and help out, and I'm like, all right, well, my flash, and I'm like, I cannot stand this. So when it comes to offlane, I can't stand that. But as an ADC, I like that. Sucks. All right, Steel. Shield Bash stun duration increased from 0.3 seconds to 0.5 seconds. Bug fix. Shield Bash no longer stuns for 1 second. All right, well, that's good. So it's actually... it looks like he got a buff, but he actually got a nerf. All right? We got a 0.5 second nerf on this.
Technically. Yeah. Depending on your bug luck, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
he still feels great.
He does have haste on it. That's right. I didn't know Viper had haste on it. That's weird. Viper's bloated.
Yes.
Yeah, that item's super bloated.
Gilly less? Sorry, I'm saying the name wrong. Man, they really need to buff Fang Mao. Tell Pinzo that. Pinzo will tell you they don't need to buff him because he's actually really good.
True. Buff Fang Mao.
All right, T1 wraps.
Fang Mao, nerf Pinzo.
T1 wrap. Magical armor decreased 10 to 12 on the wraps. T2. Some tank T2s have suffered low efficiency due to fairly strong passives. They're somewhat conditional, so we're bumping up the stat line to help tanks feel a bit better when curving towards the T options. So Barbed Pauldron is physical armor increased from 25 to 35. Horned Plate, physical armor increased from 25 to 30. And Polar Treads, magical armor increased from 12 to 15. All right, Carry. Terminus, regardless of its passive, Terminus has made ADCs feel a little too resistant to burst damage, especially alongside their defensive item options. We're decreasing the scaling a bit alongside fixing its second passive. A non-passive shield scaling decreased from 100% total physical power to 80% total physical power.
I still think that should be lowered. It's always weird to me that Kingsbane is like the official shield carry item, but Terminus gives you a bigger shield.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, since they removed the shield aspect of Kingsbane, it makes a little more sense, but yeah, I don't know why they buffed this in the first place, because this is just reverting a buff that it received last time in the ADC item pass. And yeah.
Was it 80% before?
Yeah.
It was? All right. I knew it wasn't 100. I don't remember what it was exactly. So 80%. Okay. So yeah, this is just a revision.
They just reverted it. Yep.
Got you. Tank, Fire Blossom. Fire Blossom has fallen off the wayside a bit, as most classes have easy first buys. We want to reinforce this for tanks and make it feel like you're not losing too much of durability by purchasing it over other options. Health increased from 225 to 275. All right. Frostguard. Frostguard suffers from a little less efficiency when it deserves to, the efficiency than it deserves due to its strong effect. We're giving it a bit more armor to make it feel better to pick up compared to other tank options. Physical armor increased from 50 to 60. Hex Brown bracers. Like Frostguard, we're hoping these changes help victors and deckers of the world pick this item up again. Physical armor increased from 50 to 60. Meditation passive percent current mana deactivation decreased from 60% to 50%. Tainted Bastion. Likewise, Tainted Bastion is also getting a small bump to its durability to help tanks feel a bit better at picking it up and even pairing it with Tainted Guard. Ooh, pairing it with Tainted Guard. Magical armor increased from 30 to 35. Colossus damage mitigation increased from 5% to 6%. Is it worth stacking tainted items, though? I thought you didn't get any benefit from stacking tainted items.
But the reason why I stack them is because their passives are different. You can, for example, Tainted Bastion gives you the damage reduction as soon as you apply anti-heal. But Tainted Bastion is only abilities, right?
Okay.
But if you build Tainted Guard also, the moment they land a passive, well, they just got applied anti-heal because of you. That passive from Bastion now applies. So now they're doing reduced damage because they received anti-heal from you, even if it was a basic. So you can apply reduced damage to a carry by comboing the both of those, even if you don't get hit.
I'll put it this way: every tank player in the game should be building both Bastion and both Guard right now. It's that strong. Like you're gonna
Who should be building that? Sorry, say it again.
Every tank.
Every
tank. Maybe if you're support tanking, it might take you a little bit longer to get that online, but I'm basically 3-slotting this right now because they also upped the damage mitigation. It was 5% doubled to 10, now it's 6 doubled to 12. So on Bastion. So it's like there's no reason not to build anti-heal because anti-heal is good against some specific characters, but it's also just good against like carries that are life stealing. And then on top of that, when you pair these together, it just builds you to that damage mitigation in general. So it's like it's good armor.
You just get 12% mitigation against everything, which is
basically
insane.
And it's got great stats. I mean, it's got good armor on it. It's got good health on it. Like it's like the coupling of those two Bastion items is very, very good.
Two tainted items.
Tainted items, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very good.
All right. Interesting. I haven't done that. I've been working a lot on off lane, so I haven't done. I've been picking up Bastion, especially if I'm going against an energy based hero. But I haven't picked up the other one yet. So makes sense though. All right. Appreciate the information. Just post links. I don't know what's going on. Range damage to heroes. Minions. Range hit minions. Damage to heroes modifier increase from 35% to 40%. Siege damage to heroes modifier increase from 60% to 70%.
Dude, these bastards slap. It hurts.
Yeah,
it's noticeable. That shit hurts.
You just gotta bait that person to hit you, and then they're gonna start taking damage. All right, towers. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like on the siege minion wave, especially in offlane, that's where I most notice it because on that first siege minion wave, it's 20% extra damage, and I've definitely caught a few people off guard of like they walk too far forward and they just tank for too long and they just die when they wouldn't have before.
I feel like I've noticed it most on my early ganks from jungle because like my early games from jungle, I jump in, I'm hitting and I'm like trading and I'm like, yeah, I can do this is fine, and then I'm getting really close to death on some of my early ganks and I'm like, damn dude, like these minions are doing way more than the player is. Like they're actually just beating the hell out of me, so I gotta be a little careful.
Interesting. Towers in general, ramping damage increased from 30% per shot to 35% per shot, still stacks up to 4 times. And outer tower health increased from 4,500 to 5,000. So this is going to make the game last longer.
It's funny, I haven't really noticed it much, which is probably a good thing because that probably means that it fits right in.
Okay.
I think a lot of laners probably like this change because I like as a jungler, I was like, man, towers already hit hard. But having them last a little bit longer, that's good. I think that slows the snowball down of a game potentially. So it's probably a very good change. It's one of those ones that's hard to feel out, but you kind of just play the game, and if it doesn't feel like you could notice a negative thing, then it's probably a positive thing, I guess.
Gillis says, "Oh, go ahead."
Yeah, I was just gonna agree that like it's really just to slow down the snowball because it was very possible to potentially take Fangtooth, take First Orb Prime, take all 3 out tier 1 outer towers, and all of a sudden your whole team is up 5,000-6,000 gold and you can't do anything at that point. And so especially in even just a slightly coordinated environment, you do that in the first 12-15 minutes of the game and then the game is over. And so making that kind of somewhat more difficult, I think, is the point, and I think it's definitely good.
Gillis says, I really like the minion change. It actually punishes people for not managing waves properly or still not completely, but it's getting there. Yeah. So I agree. I'm all about both these changes, actually. Map general. Players should now be able to blink more easily outside of the epic monster pits from the rear wall. The wall next to the 5 stacks brown minion camp has been lowered to allow for easier jumping from the riverside into the camp. All right.
You know how many times I wasted a blink at the back of Fangtooth?
Oh yeah.
Trying to blink over, and I just happen to land on that ledge that slides me backwards.
Yep.
Like, get me the fuck out.
You know how many times I was running behind you and I watched you do that?
I hate you.
I'm lucky.
I'm still kind of mad though that they didn't lower the wall between Red Buff and the 5 camp, because you can't jump, at least for me so far. I have not been able to jump that wall with Rampage, and it annoys me.
Wait, from red to
5 camp?
From Red to the 5 camp, yeah.
Are you supposed to make that jump? That's quite that's
time.
You mean from the 2 camp to the 5 camp, right?
No,
you want to
from
go from
red,
the top of red into
top of
5?
red into 5.
I've never tried to make that jump. That's a
I've been trying to do it.
That's a really
on everyone, and it is impossible. And I would just want
easy.
it lowered just a little.
what you need to do.
Easy. You just pop ult, and then you just
There you go.
Yeah,
Yep, there you go.
Well, save your ult, pop your jump, pop your flash, and then use your jump.
Oh yeah.
There you go. That's how you do it. Oh no! Thank you for that raid, buddy. Appreciate you,
bro. Come on.
Yeah, Moon's blink. There, yep. All right, bug fixes. Fixed a bug where players clipped into the environment near dusk spawn. Fixed a bug causing the vision eye to appear above Kallari when stealth in AI mode. Fixed a bug causing the mini camp. You know what? Is there any big bugs?
There's
a lot of them.
Fix the bugs.
Yeah, there's that. Is there any ones you guys want to talk about, like special?
I actually don't think I read them, because when they published the notes originally, they said, "Oh, we'll push the bug notes later," and I actually forgot to go back and read them.
That's why. That's why I was like sitting like, oh yeah, I remember that it wasn't too much, right? I remember reading that little snippet, and then I'm like sitting there like, wait a minute, there's a lot here. So yeah, read the bug fixes when you guys get a chance. They're posted in Discord, on Twitter, probably even on Reddit somewhere. Go enjoy. Fixed a bug causing gag grenade to fail to affect her.
Got a little buff.
Yeah,
because apparently Lightning Hawk was scaling. Yeah, it was scaling off of bonus physical power. Now it's scaling off of total power.
Really? Wait, was that a bug?
It's supposed to be total, but it was only doing the extra. So now Lightning Hawk is kind of even more worth it. Considering isn't Lightning Hawk like 2,900? Right? Like, isn't that shit cheap as hell?
It's cheap. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's clutch, bro. Yeah, buy that shit first on all carries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Interesting. That's cool.
All right. Now on to all of our experiences here we have with Kira. All right. Before we get into that, I did have Zygor. Zygor's been messaging me. He kind of gave me a little input of his opinions of Kira. And so I'm going to read that real quick, and then you guys can go over, we can discuss his opinions, and then we can discuss our thoughts on her. So I personally think the character feels super meh to play. The 40% slow on her alt feels terrible. An ultimate should never apply a debuff of any kind to a hero. For things like Gideon Black Hole, it's fine. He is in one spot because it aesthetically makes sense. For Kira, having a slow while alting just makes you feel like you're gimped on the character. I am assuming it's a system limitation, but you really should be able to blink during your ultimate. Her R&B cooldown is too long late game, and in my opinion, should be more like a 2-second cooldown. I think currently the hero is strong, but she doesn't live up to her power, fantasy and all, and feels bad to play. Make those changes to her kit and then balance the numbers accordingly so she isn't turbo broken, and I think she would be much more enjoyable to play. Also, this is a nitpick, he says, but the purple aura that builds on her Q should start at 1 stack and grow until 6 stacks, whereupon it pops and indicates that it's fully stacked. Going from the black haze to purple aura at 6 stacks feels super weird in my opinion.
Could you
Say it to my
share
face.
that in our conversation, bro?
Yes.
I'll be real with you.
Yeah.
See, I haven't necessarily gotten a chance to play her today, but the one time that I did get to play her, it was PvP, even though it wasn't in the testing side, right? That ult range definitely caught me off guard. That shit is mad short. Like, you really got to commit to pull off a good ult. But I don't know. I didn't necessarily think that she was bad in any way, shape, or form.
She feels really strong to me. She feels really strong to me. She has like really, really safe trades because of her Q. Her ultimate is probably the weaker part of her, but I can't really subscribe to the thought of like, oh, ultimate should never apply like a negative status. It's like, that's just so limiting to design, right? Like, and yeah, Gideon has to sit still and do it, but he also has a pull effect to his, right? Like, and it's like the whole, I don't know. Like, I have a hard time subscribing to that way of thinking. I will say that it doesn't feel like her ultimate is very strong. Unless you build crit, but I think that crit is starting to niche out to be like the stronger build path for her anyways. But her like fluidity comes from like movement to me. Like, she's just very like all over the place, reposition, and then she gets really, really strong shots in. All of the carries are just super, super strong, and it's a mix between the items but also just like their kits. Like, Drongo is so strong because he brings his silence. Kira is strong because she's very mobile. Like, it's like I'm having a hard time ganking her. It feels very Gideon-esque, where like when I see one, I'm like as a jungler, I'm just so frustrated because I know it's going to be hard to kill them. Like, I have to have vision control or at least a good entry into the lane, and my teammates have to try to bait the dash, and that's like, that combination's a little bit hard. But yeah, she feels really, really good to me. I think that my complaints on her as a character, which have actually already been addressed, is she looks really stiff. Like, her animations are so incredibly stiff. She's constantly like, she looks like an old Doom character where you kind of like never like, you're always in one stance, and you know what I mean? Like, it looks like that. And it's funny because
she pulls the other shot out, it's just
she pulled it out and then she puts it back and she's right back in form. And yeah, she never really looks like she's like moving through the world in a sense. But Blood Mortius already said like, oh yeah, we're actually literally working on that already. So it's like, okay, that's cool. But
yeah, if they can get her to move like Revenant does, that'll be dope.
Oh, or go arms tired.
Right mouse button, if you hit it, it lowers the cooldown by 50%. So I feel like there's already even like built-in cooldown reduction to that too. So I don't know. I hadn't had that kind of an impression on her. I haven't played her a ton though. I played her like 5 times. So
I'm kind of wondering how much of an experience issue it is, because like you said, there's the cooldown reduction for hitting heroes on your right click, which to me, like, you're able to do this like every 3 seconds when you have it maxed out, and that's a lot, especially for an ability that applies on end effects and can crit. And like when we were talking about, you know, her ult, clearly the crit side of things, like that definitely feels like the way to go, so that your ult actually really has an impact. But too, then with her ultimate, like, the part of the reason that you are slowed is because you can dash during your ultimate, and maybe that connection hadn't been made there, because for me inside of that game, like, it's felt absurd of being able to start out on that target, force movement abilities, force people to try and get away, or start out during a Richter ult or something along those lines, and then continue to dash after that. Like, it's so absurdly good. Or dodge CC abilities, because obviously it's channeled, can get canceled, but you dodge a rampage rock with that, and all of a sudden you're still outputting crazy amounts of damage, and their CC is gone. So I can't really agree with. I feel like that's probably an experience issue.
I will say flash ulting, that could be cool. Like, I could see like maybe that is a system issue where they don't have the way to do that yet.
Sure.
That could be a cool thing, because I think that if you can dash ult, I would like to see you be able to flash ult. That would be cool.
True. You do have to land, but technically you can, or if you flash into the ground, you'll be able to do it. You just got to make sure that you're making contact, and be mindful. You not only can you dash while you're ulting, you can also use your crest dash while you're ulting as well. So you technically have double dash.
If you're pacifier, yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe they could make a way to give us helicopter Kira. You know what I mean? Where we flash up in the air. I'm trying to hey, somebody peel for the Howie. Get the Howie. You know what I mean? Like just helicopter him out of the sky. Like I'm down with it, dude.
That would be amazing.
Honey says no. Not allowed.
Not allowed.
So Medkit, Zygor, I know Medkit said that you were able to do that. So I don't know if Medkit was able to do it during the partner situation, or if they patched it. That was figuring something they didn't. There was something they didn't want to do that. So,
I haven't played it since Friday. So
right.
That.
Sergeant Smokey, what's going on, buddy? How we doing? I was only able to play her during the partner situation. I was only going to play AI matches. Wasn't able to get much in there. I thought she felt smooth. I thought her kit really complemented itself. I was able to roll into, pop the R&B, get more, attacks in there, bring up the Q, slow them, get some more attacks in there while they're slowed. I thought everything felt great. Dashing in, you doing your ult, I thought everything was great. I liked it. I loved everything about it. I do think her basic attacks, the sound of it is a little quiet. I need a little more, thud with that. With it, I think that'd be a bit more going on. But other than that, I thought she was good. I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm pretty good with her. I went 31-0-0, so. Nobody can stop me.
Stand a chance.
Not a chance, man. I even got a penta with it. I'm pretty badass. So it's the only option I had. All right.
I love that.
What was that noise? That was the noise of a crossbow. You wouldn't know because you live out in the city over there in New York. You're a New Yorker.
He buys his crossbows at dollar stores. Confirmed. Oh, shout out to Huddy. But no, man, I gotta say, like, I love her original skin. Again, purple, go figure.
Yeah, that's bias.
I tried the red skin and I absolutely,
you can't say that. Not in 2023, you can't say that.
Okay, you're right. I know what you're talking about.
Football actually, but all right. Baseball.
Oh, no.
What the fuck?
Like, so
he just said baseball
on the gray and red skin. Anyway, I'm just to the point where I'm like, okay, so purple. I really wish that it didn't shine.
You tried the commander skin,
Lamau. I like. So how do you guys feel about this? Because I like the fact that the crossbow glows purple on the original skin.
Love it.
If it's not on the original skin, they don't have to go like color matchy skin, because at that point it turns into other tiers and etc. But could they literally just make it a more neutral color for the other skins, or is that purple going to be there on every other skin even if it classes?
I'm gonna say every other skin. It's like Gideon's little purple hands. Same thing, I would say.
It's weird for me because on one hand I understand the need for uniformity when it comes to skin rarity for pricing, and having like the precedent be set for, oh well, when you start changing effects and things, it's changing the rarity. But on the other hand, and I'm not proposing a solution or a change, on the other hand, I look at the cardinal skin and I think, well, red and purple, I'm never buying that. Like, I would rather use the default skin because it doesn't correlate. And so I don't know, right? Like, maybe there's even some skins that could have an exception. Change
the color to just gray on all the skins or something,
or just change it to red. Because if we're being honest, and again, I am ignorant as hell. I'm gonna get that out of the way. I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. But I do know that there's a hue slider in Photoshop that I use sometimes, and so like, if we're being honest, I can't imagine changing that color is so much more work that it warrants making a price change, and I can't imagine that it's so much more work that it's not worth doing, because I think it would actually just look better for the skin that exists.
When we were talking about this on Thursday, that they had made the comment that yes, they could technically change the color of the crossbow, but they couldn't change the color of the animations and keep the skin at that rank level. But for me personally, I don't care if this color of the crossbow and the color of the animations the abilities that she's throwing out match. Like, those abilities can still be purple, and that would be perfectly fine with me because she would look so much better in that skin with a red crossbow.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if we're talking about the effects of the skin, what happens when she's being played, that does change the tier. But I think if we're just talking about the color of the crossbow, does that really need to be considered a big change? Because red skin to me, and this is just me, other people may completely disagree. Red skin to me is way less valuable just because the crossbow's purple. Like, I'm not buying it. I maybe wouldn't buy it anyways, but because I really like the purple one. But effects aside, effects could all be purple. Red crossbow looks better. It just looks better. Yeah. So I don't know where the, you know what I mean? Where do you
draw the line?
Yeah, where do you draw the line on that? Because I do understand that if you change too much, then we truly are adding work to them and making it a different skin or like a different rarity. But a little bit, maybe it could be a little interpretive there. I don't know.
Agreed. Well, and two, it just adds, even from a design perspective, because it's assuming that you're not changing the effects, which, like we talked about, but it's not that difficult. Yes, it is probably a 15-20 minute thing. Make sure the glow is right, make sure the lighting is proper, make sure that it fits within all of the rendering stages inside of the game and everything like that. So it is that little bit of extra work, but it seems worth it for that to just it bugs me that they don't match, because I'm in the same boat that I would not buy that skin just because of that. It would bug me too much playing the game.
I think it would, yeah.
So Odo asked in chat, so speaking of which, what's up with the 600 or 800 coin skins? What's the difference? The difference is, and they say in the patch here, Odo, but I'll go over real quick, is a 600. So we know that the Cardinal skin is a common skin, right? So it's common, right? And we do know that it's 800 coins, right? We also know, I think the Dekker is a 600 coin skin. So 800 coins is, the 600 coins is getting like one or maybe two of these, right? The 800 coins is getting like three or all four of these, right? Or something like getting more, you're getting more of these options changed than the 600 coins. The 600, the skin is getting less of options of this in the common skin option.
Variety. Like, it's still the same tier, but just more things done to the skin in itself.
So that's why the price is changed on those. So does this mean, I know Huddy's going to completely disagree, but we do know we got a 600 coin or 600 platinum skin. We have an 800 platinum skin, which those are common, right? And then we got the 1300 skin and the 1600 skin. Those are rare. Does that mean that that's all we're like, so even when they come out with their own like IP skins, like that's a tier 4 skin, that's going to be just 1600?
I mean, they could always do like a legendary skin, right? Something that's so drastically different, completely different animations, different style, gender bent, right? Like you could go crazy with it.
So they're just showing, so what you're saying is that potentially this is just showing the type of skins they currently have.
Yes.
And they can add more to it.
They even say that in there, if I remember correctly, that these are the two rarities that we have right now. And so they're specifying that like they're leaving themselves room for expanding that in the future. So I think given that this will probably be the primary way to monetize the game in the future, and how successful in particular Dota 2 does with all of the crazy stuff that they do. I mean, complete like changing people into animals and vice versa and yada, yada, yada. There's so much room for them to grow that I see no reason why they would limit themselves to just this, especially coming out of the beta.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Windu, what are your thoughts on Kira?
On Kira specifically?
Yeah.
It's again a limited play experience that I got, but overall, I absolutely love, and I'm gonna double dip on kind of what Crashy was saying. I love the fact that we're getting a mobility ADC. One of the reasons why I loved Twin Blast was because of the mobility, being able to dash around and etc. It just adds a whole nother level of get good when somebody's trying to land shots on you. You get where I'm coming from?
Right.
And whenever you're Murdock or Sparrow, and I'm just standing there slowly strafing to the left and the right. It's very, very different. Being able, even though I just got that one match in the creator test on Friday, being able to be in there and just kind of dash around and be like, oh, motherfucker, I'm over here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, bitch, fix your aim. Like, I was actually having fun playing with a mobility carry. And it's actually really cool to see, and being able to try little things like, you know, blink over them, land behind them, and then ult. That's kind of spicy to do and shit like that. What is it? I saw a clip of Medkit using Ice Scorn Talons, just fucking ulting and popping it so you slow everybody inside. Even though the slows don't stack, so I don't know how effective that would be, right? But I'm just glad that we're getting diversity to the opposite end, because I think Revenant was a good diversity add as far as slowing it down and making your shots hit harder. But now being able to go the opposite way, just high mobility, like a little bit more chaos introduced to the mix, I'm digging it. I'm probably just gonna play her all the fucking time, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't wait to jump in. I tried playing one match today, and it went from being a 50-50 chance to a 33% chance to win it, because I had three people. Well, me and two other people, you know, trying to get ADC, and I didn't win that one. So I didn't get to play. But I played, but I didn't get to play as her. But so I can't wait.
Discord, be like, hey, I need 4 people right the fuck now.
I didn't have the time. I literally had to hit play. Like I was like, hey, I got home late. I got to hit play now, and Q pops hopefully quick. I didn't have time to wait for hopefully 4 people to go up. So, but I did queue up with Blood and Odo, and they did actually purposely try. So that was 2 other people that purposely tried to actually let me get ADC. It just didn't work. The 2 randos didn't allow me. So X-Sources bring me Terra. Hell yeah. That's what I want. I want Terra. Give me Terra for sure.
I also want Terra.
You're gonna tear her up in jungle.
I want Yin and I want Terra. I don't know if Yin will be a jungler, but I just think the character's kit looks so incredible.
Yin will not be a jungler.
I don't even care. I
You
just
can
think
jungle with her.
the character looks sick.
You can do it.
I mean, yeah, you probably could do it. You probably could do it, but she's not a jungler. I think that's, we're kind of shorter on time, towards the end of it, but we got nothing really, unless you guys got something going on. I do know. Wait, Gazelles, you said there was something going on, right? You had there was a hunt tournament, something going on.
Yeah, so there's the Hunt of Heroes going on this weekend. It's going to be on the twitch.tv/predecessor esports is what they're setting it up under. It's being run, basically it's the Pred Tools. It's their first go at running an event. And so they got a bunch of people who signed up, and then they threw all of the MMR that they had pulled and everything like that for all of these people into a bot, and the bot spit out teams. And so
randomly assigned teams.
Yep, exactly. It's almost like a draft league, except you didn't get to choose. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be like chaos. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Bro, so hold on. I got to share this with you. Yeah. So I'm going to be part of it, right? I 100% called out my team because there's no way this is fucking random, right? Offlane, Stroby 1 Kenobi. Jungle, not Rebel Oasis. Support, Darth Jar Jar. And then me as carry, Windu the Mace. I was like, there's no fucking way.
Y'all are a Star Wars team, bro.
There's no shot this was a random fucking team, bro.
So
no
good.
shot. And then they're like, oh, yeah, that was the bot, bro. And we're just like, you know what? If they don't have a team name that has to do with Star Wars, we're kicking them. Like,
damn straight. So Chris does ask, if someone needs a sub for that tournament, how would you sign up for that and for the Hunt of Heroes tournament? Is that possible? Is that a thing?
So, it is not possible right now. So the way that it is set up is basically they spit out the 16 teams, and then everyone else who was in that Discord, who had been invited and everything like that, because it is
We lost you there for a second there.
oh, I thought it was my internet again, bro.
No, no, we lost Gazelles there for a second. So, all right, but it sounded like he said that there's no way to sign up for it now. Basically, whoever didn't get added into it, whoever didn't get added to the 16 teams, they're probably the sub pool. They can pull from there.
Yes.
That's what I'm guessing. All right, you're back. Welcome back.
Yep,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
All good.
I'm in the mountains, a little unstable. So.
All right, it's next door to Goose. I understand. All right. All right. So, yeah. So other than that, I mean, we got Windu. You got to hit me up, or we could do a live here or whatever. We got to figure out something for next week. I will be out of town, so I won't be here. So I don't know if we're just going to postpone the show, or if we're guys gonna do a show without me, and then we'll upload a week late or something. But we got to figure something out. So hit me up with that. We can we'll let people know via Twitter or whatever.
I think we'll still be able to make it work because I can go live on your channel, and then I'm pretty sure I'm listed as editor, so I can also download from your channel. I think. If not, we can set that up.
We'll set that up. All right, that works.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah, I just won't be able to be on the show. So, but yeah. How did you already sub?
That's gonna be the weird part. Going live on Bearded's channel without Bearded. This is our shit now.
Hey, I'm all about it. So, all right, it's good.
We'll break all the TOS on that.
What channel?
We'll pull out all the words. We'll do all the signs.
There you go. There you go.
You're never gonna see so much nudity. It's gonna be crazy.
We're gonna start off with that Rampage frog picture. Bro.
There you go. All right. So in the order like this: Gazelles, Crashy, Windu, or myself, then Windu. Let Windu do it since he didn't get to announce himself. Let's do our send-offs. Let people know where they can find you. Let people know, do your little shout out to the devs or shout out to the community, whatever you want, or both. And let's go from there.
Sounds good. So twitch.tv/Flying Gazelles. Same thing on YouTube. Just search for Flying Gazelles and you'll find it. Really easy. And honestly, big shout out to just all of the Pred community and to Bearded for hosting this, because it's been great to both see other creators here, to be here as a part of this, and the devs showing up here is awesome. Like the interview with Sundown last week was fantastic. It's great to give them an opportunity to show how well they can communicate, especially even just right now, given they haven't created all of those their own tools for that yet. And it's fantastic. It's great to hear from everybody and get different opinions on the game. So big shout out just to Pred across the board too, because this is one of the best MOBA communities out there.
All right, there we go.
Spicy.
Oh yeah, very spicy.
All right, friends. /Crashy on most social media. You can find me playing Pred, jungling, doing some fun stuff. Shout outs to Grady, Soul Reaper, Lakeinator, man. They put together this ranked Discord. It's a lot of fun. Regardless of the ranked thing, it's an experience that a lot of people might otherwise not actually be getting, where they're getting into like what feels like much more serious games. And some of these players, you can tell they're new when you play with them, but they're learning fast because they're kind of thrown into the gauntlet, right? You're getting put into these customs with like really good players, and you got to learn comms. And we're making people that otherwise would just be playing pubs do drafts where we're pick and banning. It's a fast kind of experience that's really, really fun, and it's making the game really, really fun. And I know Ometa's paying attention, and that's not me saying rush a ranked mode, but hey, that interest is right. And so observe, pay attention. To the devs, please nerf a couple carry items for me. They're still overtuned. Vanquisher is a joke. I hate that item. Otherwise, keep doing what you're doing, man. I love the game.
You mean Viper?
Well, Viper's a joke too. Vanquisher's crazy. Viper's overloaded. We talked about it with Penzo. I hate the way that the crit is just standardized 25%. I hope to see that change at some point. But there was another thing I was going to say, and it is left my brain.
All right.
I'm done.
Cut me off if you think about it.
Kira gameplay.
Yeah, go watch Kira gameplay. So on that note of the Discord that you're talking about, I think actually, and I know you want ranked mode, and I know a lot of people want ranked mode, so obviously I'm not trying to make that a bad thing, but I think you guys doing this Discord, or them guys doing this Discord, I think it's a great thing. I love it because it makes it to where those higher elo players aren't out here just pub stomping the new players, and then they're just pushing the players away. So I think that's a great benefit there. I also think it's a great benefit for the game. You're going to hate this part, but it gives the people who want ranked a spot for ranked, while it also gives them better time to make sure ranked is made correctly and it's not just pushed. It's not just like rushed, right? So
what he's saying is these sweats are out of my lobby, bro.
So I think that's a great thing. I'm all about that. So yeah, definitely shout out to those guys for doing that. For myself though, we got tonight's stream. Obviously we're here, and then tomorrow's stream. But then Thursday I will not be streaming because I'll be packing. I'll be gone all week next week, so no content for me all week next week because we will be going to Florida. I might even get to see our man Windu live in person and see how short he actually is. So we'll see what that's like.
Menace started that shit, bro. We gotta get Menace down here so you can see his 5'4", 6 foot personality, bro.
Yeah. I'll try to get them both together. I can sit there and do like, all right, hey, you're both short. But I've been actively playing Pred Mondays, Tuesdays. Tuesdays is this show. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Wednesdays is playing with viewers, and then Mondays and Thursdays, I've been just trying to sweat and get better at certain roles by either doing solo or duo lanes or duo queues, and nothing more than that. So, but I have been pushing content. YouTube, YouTube's been very active recently with shorts or actual long-term content, and also TikTok. So if you can find me on those, again, Bearded Wolverine on everything, check that out and leave me a like, subscribe, all that fancy dancy stuff, because the more I grow, the better we'll be. Other than that, Dabs, keep up the work, and I can't wait to see the next batch. I'm hoping we're going to get at least one of those 3 things that we're waiting for. Windu.
Spicy. And open invitation to anybody ever, including Bearded. Y'all are more than welcome to meet me in person and get whooped at go-kart. So I'm gonna just throw that shit out there. But what's up, guys? I guess I'll do an intro outro real quick. I'm Windu, also known as Windu the Mace. You guys can find me on all socials under Windu the Mace. And honestly, just be on the lookout for the Creator Unite videos that we just dropped, another series of videos. Those are basically just a whole bunch of us creators that wouldn't normally play together. We record at different points of views. Every creator posts their individual point of view, and then on my channel, I put the compilation, like the back and forth scene switching between the different points of view during a match, just to make it a little bit more dynamic and just show people that it's actually super fun when you play it with homies, to be honest. But besides that, we appreciate everybody joining into the Predcast. I'm sorry I was late, was having some internet issues, but always watch these after the fact. Watch them live. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you comment down below. Just leave a GG that you made it this far. And as always, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
I gotta do this. I forgot.